Hello and welcome to another episode of Threat Update. I'm Kilian Englert, and joining me again today is Ryan O'Boyle. Ryan, how's it going?
Hey, Kelly. Doing well. How are you?
Awesome. Very good, thank you. So this is our third and final episode in our Cloud Imposter series, where the attackers are really targeting the cloud environment. So to bring everybody up to speed on where we're at, in the very first video, we had the attacker set up a man-in-the-middle attack and send a phishing email out to an unsuspecting SSO admin. What they were able to do with that is capture the credentials and the two-factor authentication and the session token. With the session token, they were able to get into the SSO app at that point. From there, what they were able to do is do a little bit of recon, change the assignments within the SSO app, which gave them access to Google Drive or Google Workspace. And the attacker was able to use that to find sensitive information and leverage the built-in sharing and collaboration features to exfiltrate sensitive data by simply sending it to an attacker-controlled account. So where we're at now is the attacker's still there. They're still in control of the SSO console, and they're looking to find a little bit more. They don't want to squander this opportunity, so they're going to pivot to another very common data store, Box in this case, and use that to again to find and exfiltrate additional information. Ryan, anything else to add before we get into it?
No, that's perfect. Box is another one of these collaboration data repositories. So, we look in these places by design because we want end users to be able to share data, but great for an attacker as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So let's go ahead and jump in.
All right. So in this case, we're going to use a similar tactic where we log into the Box environment using the direct assignment from our original SSO admin. This time, though, it's not so easy, right? We can quickly see that this user is not an admin within the Box environment. However, Box does make recon fairly easy. So from the attacker's perspective, when we go check the settings, it's pretty quick and easy to figure out which of these users is in fact the admin of our Box tenant. And we're going to jump back into my Okta page, and I'm going to reassign this app again, this time using the new email address of my Box admin instead of my originally compromised user. One more time, we're going to refresh our app assignments here. And now when I log into the Box application, I'll have the access as our Box admin. Now, what are we going to do with our Box admin credentials? Well, first and foremost, we should have access to data. We'll be able to see really all the data out there owned by quite a variety of different users. I see some interesting customer-facing data. I may want to follow a similar tactic to the Google space and try to get this out through some sort of sharing link or collaboration link. But unfortunately, again, it looks like we have our Box environment a little bit more locked down. Our attacker here is not able to share this data out externally or publicly. So what are we going to do? We have admin rights in the Box space. We're going to jump into the admin portal for Box, and we'll make a configuration change. We're just going to allow for this specific folder, external sharing, external collaboration. And not only that, we're going to make our lives a little bit easier by creating a custom URL. Again, this is a Box-specific feature. We can create a dedicated URL that when we share this out publicly, all we really have to do is navigate to that URL, which of course we know as the attacker since we've crafted it. And we'll have anonymous or guest access to this particular folder in order to access this outside of our organization's tenant. So just to validate, we open up our incognito window, we navigate over to that URL, and we can pretty quickly see that without having to log in or be prompted for credentials, we have access to this customer data, this sensitive data that we've, at this point in theory, exfiltrated outside of our environment.
That's pretty scary. And again, this seems like it was very straightforward if the attacker did just a little bit of recon with the built-in information available in the platforms. Ryan, how can somebody go about maybe defending this, or what should they be keeping an eye on if they suspect that there might be something odd or suspicious going on?
A couple of different things. First and foremost, I think we had some pretty good security controls put in place around Box, blocking things like external collaboration and public access. But it's also really important to make sure that we're monitoring our administrative activity. How are admins making changes or modifications to our security settings? How are they interacting with the tenant? Really important to monitor that, and probably want to have some alerting capabilities in place to understand when something like public links are turned back on. We also want to monitor for custom URL usage. There are definitely some great use cases for custom URLs and how we might want to expose this data publicly. But when it comes to sales data and customer data, probably not the right place for that. So again, monitoring custom link usage, collaboration functionality. Again, just like Google, these applications, Box specifically, are designed for collaboration, designed for sharing, a really good end user experience. It's a little bit easy though for attackers to get data outside of the network that way as well.
Yeah, definitely seems like it. And those are a great piece of advice for everybody watching and listening, especially if you manage any of these solutions in your portfolio, which seems like virtually everybody leverages some type of cloud solution at this point. I think, Ryan, we had talked about this. I think I have about 20 apps in our SSO, and I think it only goes up there for many people in the organization. So I think a lot of people are probably in the same boat. So that was really great. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Thank you all, of course, for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing to the channel, maybe throwing us a like or leaving us a comment. Ryan, thank you again for walking through that. That was really enlightening. Thank you all again, one more time. We'll look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care.
Thanks, all.